Hi, this is Andy with Epic Automotive. Today we are replacing a wheel bearing in a 2004 Buick LeSabre, so let's get to it. So first of all, we can see this bearing needs replaced. If we move it top to bottom, you see the excessive play in the wheel bearing, so it's time to replace this one. So we've got the wheel off. Now what we need to do is remove the brakes. We can remove the bracket, these two 15mm bolts on the back, remove the rotor, so we can start to access the wheel bearing. Now some rotors will come right off as soon as you take the caliper out. It basically just falls off of the hub. Some, like this one, get stuck a little bit. Need a little more convincing to get it off of there. What you can do is take a ball-peen hammer and use the round end of the hammer, then take a mini sledge or another hammer and tap in between each of the studs, and that's usually enough force to get it off of there, and that way you don't damage the surface of the rotor at all. Just like that. Next thing you'll need to do is disconnect this ABS connector. Just pull on this tab and pull it straight off of there, and then remove your axle nut. So here we see the back of the hub assembly. We see it's got three 13mm bolts that hold the hub bearing assembly to the knuckle. There's one here, one at the top, and then one on the other side. So we need to remove those, and then we can pull the wheel bearing off of there. So now we have all our bolts out, so we can pull the hub off the drive shaft here. And we see this metal plate. We want to keep this in the same location. The new bearing comes with the sensor, and it's going to plug in to this on this bracket so it can plug into the ABS. So keep the plate in the same position. So now we're ready to install our new wheel bearing, making sure that the ABS sensor is on the left side for the connector. And it's a good idea at this point to lubricate the splines of the drive shaft with axle grease or penetrating oil. In this case I just used some PB Blaster just so it'll slide into the bearing easier. Once you have your new hub assembly slid onto the drive shaft, you can then start putting everything back together. Put your axle nut on, put your 3 bolts back in that hold it to the knuckle, plug your ABS connector in, torque everything to spec, put the brakes back on, the wheel back on, and you should be all set. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.